Hey guys, Dislin Magic here, and I just wanted to make a quick video on the topic of YouTube demonetization and the giant, what would you call it, boycott, I guess, from the large advertisers like Johnson & Johnson, Pepsi, apparently now Coke. Good job, Keemstar, that one didn't backfire at all. If you haven't been following it, basically, like, I think some idiot journalist in England or some irresponsible clickbaiting dumbass, he basically made an article about, oh, I was watching some kind of pro-ISIS, video that somehow got past the filters on YouTube, which is very rare, by the way. They have the best AI in the world, next to, I guess, IBM. And even that's debatably close. And they filter that kind of crap, but he was like, oh, I saw this terrible pro-ISIS video online, and it had ads on it for Pepsi, so Pepsi is supporting terrorism. Yeah, because large advertisers come directly to my channel, and they're like, Desolator Magic is our guy to sell sliced deli meat. Hillshire Farms, Go Meats. Definitely Desolator's demographic. Like, if they were smart, they'd sell you guys ramen and Hot Pockets, because that's my thing. I assumed you're similar to me. No, it's virtually random. I mean, for God's sake, you can advertise under certain keywords, but most people don't even bother with that. It's honestly more demographically targeted, but anyway, you guys get it. Now, terrorism is the whole front. That is such a load of crap. I mean, the companies are saying, well, one, we don't want to be like, here, eat a Snickers if you're hungry, and here's an ISIS video. That seems a little weird because it seems like they're in support of it. Well, no, nobody's that stupid. Nobody watches an ad before one of my videos and thinks that I manually approved it, and we have some kind of agreement together, and I promote that product, and they promote me. No, I guarantee they don't. I don't think anybody at the car rental agency that I just saw an ad for supports my channel directly. No thanks. They just coincidentally had their ad put on it. Everybody knows that's how it works. Okay, nobody's going to confuse it with support for ISIS. So what's really going on is a bunch of SJW snowflake morons are in charge of the marketing departments, or they're the CEOs of these companies, and they're like, oh, ISIS, 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 and what they've really said in their actual comments, which are being heavily quoted because, the truth, they don't like hateful, racist, whatever. It's all fake. They're lying. Basically, we don't agree with conservatives, so we're going to pull the ads off that because we're giving them money. And they're saying they're lumping them in with terrorists. They're like, we don't want to support ISIS or, conservative news channels. Like, a lot of these companies were like, yeah, we don't want to support terrorism. YouTube really needs to fix this. But also we found our ads on, this channel, that channel, for example. And they're like naming them word for word. Some of those channels are a bunch of psychopaths who should not even be on YouTube. They're just like white supremacist lunatics. So they have a point there. But others are just like, hey, we disagree with them on moral grounds. And it's like the most polite, proper, respectful channels that just are like anti-abortion or pro-Trump or just whatever. By the way, might as well clear this up. I'm pretty much not pro-Trump. I voted against Hillary in the election by voting for Trump, but I disagree with about 50% of what he says and does. Like, for example, seriously, global warming is fake? Really? Are you that stupid? Really? So yeah, you can go ahead and shove about that in the comment section. But basically, that's why they're really pulling their ads out. So this is a little bit worse than people think it is. So basically, they're having what's called a snowflake meltdown, which is when they leave their safe space, realize that people have a different opinion from them, and then burn their company to the ground by alienating everybody, making public statements that offend 50% of society, and then pulling all their ads off of everybody they disagree with because, God forbid, it makes them 10 cents. Like, that's what's really going on right now. So not quite as simple as, oh, they need to get terrorist content off of YouTube. That it's not quite that simple if you've been really following it closely, which I have because it's cost me over $1,000 a month so far. Yeah, couple dollars there. So you guys have probably heard, all the big YouTubers talking about this. They're like, oh, God forbid I make, instead of $1 million a month, $500,000. How will I ever survive? I mean, yeah, it sucks to lose $500,000 in income that you thought was coming, but they're rich enough. Like, a lot of them have admitted that and said that. They're like, yeah, I'll survive, whatever. I'll downsize my mansion or whatever. Most of them weren't even that stupid with their finances in the first place. They're not NFL players, for God's sake. Oh, yeah, I went there. And they all keep saying the same thing. It's going to affect the smaller channels and the people who were dumb enough to try to live off YouTube income, which I pretty much am not really by choice at this point. I mean, my other choice was to shut down my shop and shut down my YouTube channel and then get a job for somebody else, which, no thanks. I've had enough years of that. I mean, if things get bad enough, I will do that. I'm not that stubborn or crazy, but it's not my first choice. So on my 2016 taxes, YouTube was about 75% of my income. So yeah, and you might recall that I basically started my channel in 2016, not, oh, it was up and running and making tons of money. So that's pretty sad. But yeah, the amount I made on my taxes, my gross adjusted income was like under 10,000. So not exactly hauling in the money over here. Thank God I don't have like a wife and kids and pets and all that other, smartphone and cable and all the other dumb stuff that people waste their money on and pretend they're poor when they really make triple what I do. I mean, there's a difference between I make less money poor and I'm an idiot with my money poor. Like, I have no spending control poor. That's a different classification of poor. That's not me. I'm traditional poor. So yeah, I thought everything was peachy when I made a huge amount of money over like the Christmas season on ads. But then everybody warned me it drops a bit after Christmas. Well, it drops a bit and then everybody and their grandma pulls off of YouTube. Apparently that's what's behind the real drop, because I'm looking, my views are up like 3% or something like that, month to month. Last time I checked it, it was a while ago, but my CPM is down, which is my value of the average 1,000 viewers, to put it simply. And that's the only reason for that to happen is because the ads themselves are worth less. They are paying less to advertise because keywords are being bid up less. Now that's how AdSense usually works. Videos are a little bit different, but still, if there's less people advertising, it costs less. That just is how their algorithm works. So if multi-billion-dollar companies pull out, yeah, that's a lot of money leaving the system. So luckily, there's a way to fix it, and that's what I wanted to make this video about. So, I don't want to go crazy into the details and cover this like a freaking documentary about what's going on. You get the gist of it. But yeah, channels like mine are getting absolutely destroyed right now. My income's down 60-70% from my best month, so that's a lot. Like I said, well over $1,000. There's one thing that hasn't changed, though, and that's why this is the solution, and I'm kind of springboarding off of Boogie's video on Twitter. By the way, Boogie2988, totally awesome YouTube channel. You should totally go sub. He actually mentioned me in a video, and he has like 3.6 million subs, so I'm all excited. So there's one thing that's pretty predictable and steady no matter what YouTube wants to screw me over with, whatever their new method is, either demonetizing a bunch of videos, which, by the way, only one of my videos got hit, so I'm better off than most people, but my CPM's down the toilet, so kind of feel like I've been hit. But Patreon, that's what Patreon is for. Their like basically motto is like YouTube is unreliable, income is unreliable, who the hell knows what's going to happen, but Patreon is solid, predictable-ish. I mean, people can pull their money at any point, so, whatever. But it's not like, oh, YouTube accidentally deleted your channel, whoops. That only happens to people like I Hate Everything about once a month. By the way, I Hate Everything, another great channel. So like I've always said about Patreon, if you're as broke as I am, don't even worry about it. You're not like dead to me if you don't like give me $1 on Patreon. Okay, I think I'll survive. The dollar amount is so much higher than I ever thought it would be. It pales in comparison to the amount of money I've lost so far month to month on the ad drop, but it goes up, it goes down. Hopefully they fix it. Hopefully it goes back up. Patreon does not move though. And so that's nice to know that dollar amount is coming every month, because last month I was able to get some meds that I couldn't afford before. And now I can actually walk up and down the stairs at my apartment without taking 5 minutes and lots and lots and lots of pain. My hips and knees are getting better. I'm able to see a doctor way more often. And yeah, like I suspected, the problem was getting worse the whole time. So it's a damn good thing I got in. And also my taxes look pretty good last year because I'm like certifiable white trash. So I paid in $0 and I'm getting like $650 back. Can you even say I'm getting it back? Can you even call it a refund? I didn't pay them anything. I literally paid in $0 last year. I mean, I'm getting very close to nothing from the federal government. Thanks, Obama. And I'm getting like huge amounts of money from the state of Wisconsin. So, there you go. That shows you who's got my back. But yeah, that helps out a bit, and I've been making some money on some side projects lately, so that's cool. So I'm getting my medical issues taken care of, which is very de-stressing. It's hard to not think about it every day when you get out of bed and everything freaking hurts. It's kind of on your mind then a little bit. But yeah, the Patreon dollars, man, holy crap, has that helped me out, especially with like rent and stuff lately. Oh my God. So the other thing though, if Patreon isn't your thing, because I assume you've heard about it by now, if you were going to support me, you would. I'm not going to be like, oh, poor me, poor me. Maybe I should have set up a better shop in a better location, moved my shop earlier, not signed such a long lease, advertised better, ran my prices a little bit higher, and, hired a second person to answer the phone call so I'd stop missing customers, okay? If somebody's business isn't making money, it's their own damn fault and they don't deserve a bailout. All this, let's help out small businesses, most of them will fail because they deserve to fail. If my business isn't doing good enough, it's because I'm in a bad industry, which I am. It's an industry that's losing money left and right now. Great, that's on me. Probably should have done something else. Probably shouldn't have quit my job in 2015. So it's not like, I'm asking you guys to make up for all the money I lost by being stupid and making poor life decisions. So people who are like, no, you need to fix my situation that I put myself in. No, okay? It's not that bad no matter what medical problems spring up. That's just a side thing. So if you lean more towards that side of things, which even I personally do, clearly, there is something else you can do to help out me and other YouTubers that I guarantee most people don't know. Okay, I think I've mentioned this in videos, but most people don't know about this. I hope you're sitting down. This is going to shock you. In the last 28 days, 22% of my income has come from, okay, try to guess it. Was it sponsorships? Was it, well, it certainly wasn't t-shirt sales yet. Was it Patreon? Actually, it kind of was. That would fall, that would be about right. Nope, it's YouTube Red. What? Channels like mine that don't run premium series like PewDiePie get money from YouTube Red? Yes, we get a freaking pile of money from YouTube Red. It varies and my videos are longer and I upload more, so I have a huge advantage, but 22% of my income, almost a quarter of it, last month was from YouTube freaking Red. Just people who have Red watching my videos. I did the math and the average Red viewer is worth something like 20 to 100 times more than a non-Red viewer. I only mean that financially, not friendship-wise or however the hell you want to phrase that. I love you all equally. But you should probably know that if you sign up for YouTube Red, it's not just going to YouTube's pockets and all these premium channels for production costs. I mean, a portion is, but the way everybody assumes this works is whatever you watch in a month, let's say you pay, I think it's like $9-10, or we'll just say $10 for YouTube Red. Probably 5 of that goes to YouTube and production costs on premium channels. Okay, whatever. Now, the other 5 is like, what did you watch in the month? Okay, you watched X minutes of this channel, X minutes of that channel, boom, and then they just split it up equally. Well, I mean, not equally. They do it by what you watched. So if you watched, 10 hours of my channel and 100 hours of other people's, I get 9% of your premium. That's a drastic oversimplification. That math is completely made up, but you get the concept. So a lot of people were under the impression that if they sign up for YouTube Red, they get YouTube without ads, and it costs, smaller creators a boatload of money because now you're not watching my ads. Quite the opposite. They decided that us YouTubers would freaking kill them with pitchforks and torches if they did that. It's like, now they're directly pocketing money, and screw you if red members, not red people, if red members watched your channel because you get nothing. No, this time they figured ahead of time that'll probably piss people off so they didn't do it. Perhaps that should come up in a meeting when they roll out just about anything else. Google Plus. And YouTube Heroes. So yeah, we get a pretty good pile of money from that. I'm just saying. So if you're like, hey, I watch YouTube for hundreds of hours in a month and I spend $50 a month on coffee, maybe spend $40 a month on coffee and you'll get a little bit more use and happiness and ad avoidance and desolator support than you would by buying coffee. In other words, dump the coffee, get the YouTube Red. Or just buy cheaper coffee. I know you guys wouldn't want to give up coffee. But on all the stupid crap that you spend money on in a month, really, 10 of it can't go to YouTube/me? I mean, it's kind of like supporting me on Patreon, except that you get almost all the benefit. So I almost rather people do that, mostly to give the middle finger to all these advertising douchebags, all these stupid snowflake-run idiot companies that are like, we're pulling off of YouTube because we don't want to support people we disagree with, because we don't know how business works. We like alienating 50% of the population with our moral stances. Come on, grow the hell up and join the real world, you purple-haired idiots. If you don't believe me, Twitter just hired Anita Sarkeesian. Yeah, it's got that bad. Plus, most of these companies reside in California. Need I say more? Oh, Southern California. Sorry about that one, Northerners. Seriously, just split the state in half already before an earthquake does it for you. They're going to add Puerto Rico anyway. If they're redoing the flag, just have Northern California and then bad California. It's not like North Carolina and South Carolina. It could be North Carolina and bad Carolina. which honestly, that kind of fits too, doesn't it? So the whole point of the video was, yes, it is as bad as people are estimating it might be. If anything, it's worse. We're getting destroyed, people with channels my size. And you can help us out through Patreon, YouTube Red, or if anybody on any channel is selling anything directly, like any kind of sponsorship, support them to make it worthwhile. You know, click on the ads, check out the website, maybe buy something, whatever. I'm probably going to have to pick up another sponsorship or two, even though it pisses people off, just to make up for the missing money, because Pepsi's overthrowing a little SJW meltdown tantrum. Oh, and they don't want to give 10 cents to ISIS, and they think that ISIS members don't also drink Pepsi. They clearly do. It's not wasted ad revenues. There's still people, they still go to the grocery store and buy things. I don't know if they didn't realize that or not. So that is how you can personally help this situation, but the most important thing about YouTube Red is you send YouTube the message that, yes, we're sick of you getting bullied and pushed around by a bunch of idiot companies run by morons who just like to throw fits like toddlers. Like I said, they're unreasonable morons, but since they're the customer's already is always right. So whether they are or not, you gotta do whatever they say, and that's ridiculous. They don't have to do a damn thing that they say if enough people sign up for Red, because then they just won't care. If somebody wants to stomp off and take their money elsewhere, go for it. Eventually they'll run out of places to run ads because they'll find everybody offensive and probably just fire their head of marketing once they figure out that the crazy purple-haired lesbian is probably not a good idea. Like somebody with a moral agenda who also has a job to do who can't do their job because of the moral agenda, yeah, fire them. Bye-bye, time to leave the company. You know, perfect case study of that would be Wizards of the Coast. So spread the word, get on social media, say, hey, YouTube Red supports the biggest, the smallest, everybody in between, and it cuts out the advertisers completely. Tell everybody on planet frickin' Earth and International Space Station 2, they get pretty good bandwidth these days, to sign up for YouTube Red. I'd sign up, but I'm broke as hell, so don't call me a hypocrite. I just lost a bunch of money. Were you not paying attention to that? I can't even afford a damn cheeseburger at this point, let alone YouTube frickin' Red, but all of you should definitely sign up. So even if you can't afford it right now because you're in a similar situation, you'd rather pay off your debts and medical bills and whatever else you got going on, that's cool. Be smart about it, but you could also spread the word. So everybody jump on social media, tell people in person, whatever it takes. Sign up for YouTube Red, screw this advertiser boycott, and anybody who is stupid enough to announce to the press that they're pulling off of YouTube for this reason, boycott them. And tell them you're boycotting them and tell them why you're boycotting them. Get on social media and get loud about it. Like pretend you're some kind of purple-haired, perpetually angry, feminist, closet lesbian dumbass. You know, instead of man-hating, you're corporate misbehavior hating, I guess. You're basically anti-snowflaking. So if you guys have any more questions about the details about this, I've been following this closely because, hello, it's my number one job at this time, my number one source of income. I kind of give a crap about this. So leave any questions down in the comments section. Otherwise, get busy on social media and hopefully sign up for Red yourself. I'd love to see that number hit 50% because then I would start to care a hell of a lot less about what happens to my ad revenues. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.